How's it going, everyone? It's Farmer Tyler here, and today I will be seeking some help on my 1,000-hectare property in the Northern Tablelands of New South Wales. My soil constraints are: rainfall is summer dominant 800mm, soils are sandy, acidic with a pH of 4.6 at 950 metres of elevation, and weather is cold winters and mild summers. First up, I will be seeing Thomas, the local agronomist, to see what plants I should be planting and what soil amendments I may need.
Hey there, Tyler. I'm Thomas.
Hi, Thomas.
I'm the agronomist. I'll be looking over your pasture. What can I do for you?
I've got 1,000 hectares of land and I want to establish a pasture. How can I with my soil constraints?
Well, there are numerous constraints in this soil. For one, it's sandy. Two, it's got nutrient deficiencies. And three, it's pretty acidic. So we have to address those one by one if we want to establish a productive pasture. How about we go to that?
Well, how do you suggest I deal with my acidic soils?
Well, you've got a pH of about 4.6, so I'd suggest some ground lime over the top surface. It's pretty sandy, so we get away with that. Just make sure to monitor for aluminium toxicity, because that's usually present with lower acid soils.
What about a fertilisation strategy?
We also know that sandy soils are prone to nutrient deficiencies, especially phosphorus, nitrogen and potassium. Soil testing is vital to determine specific needs. Fertiliser application at this stage should probably just be an NPK fertiliser. I would recommend applying it before rains so you can prevent it from leaching, and also including a organic soil amendment, maybe some compost, just to improve your overall soil organic matter.
What about my pasture species? What would you recommend for the area? I want something that is frost, acidic, acid and aluminium tolerant.
I've tailored your species to deal well with sandy, acidic soils as well as cold climates. It'll be a complement of summer and winter active grasses and legumes. At this stage, I would recommend some cocksfoot, ryegrass and French ceradella, as well as kikuyu, digitgrass and white clover. These should help prevent erosion, fix some nitrogen, as well as improve the overall soil structure you have here of your sandy soil. Make sure to have a ratio of only about 30% legume to 70% grass, as this will prevent and reduce the risk of bloat in your ruminants.
Now, since you want me to use ceradella and white clover, what should I be inoculating them with?
I would recommend a Group S inoculant for your ceradella and a Group C inoculant for your white clover.
What about a weed management strategy? What herbicide should I be using?
So depending on the weed spectrum, select herbicides that target specific weed types are preferred. I'd say common weeds in New South Wales are blue heliotrope, parthenium, as well as Scotch thistle. So I'd recommend probably a broadleaf herbicide, something like 2,4-D, and to spray them when they're young or about to flower, and particularly before they produce seeds.
How about pest control? I think I have a red-legged earth mite infestation.
Usually intensive grazing by your livestock should cut down the pest numbers, since they do like to feed on broadleaf weeds. But application of herbicides should be able to cut back the weeds and hence the pests as well. But you could also look at some biological control, such as erecting some shelters or hideaways for beetles and spiders, because they will feed on the red-legged earth mites and they'll offer a potential for biological pest control.
Oh yeah, thanks for your help, Thomas.
No problem, Tyler. Good luck on the pasture.
Give her a kiss.
Country roads, take me home to the place.
Now that I've got my pastures on track, I'd better go speak to an animal scientist to figure out what we should be stocking.
Mountain mama, take me home. Country roads.
Come in. How you going, mate? I'm Gabe.
Hi, I'm Tyler.
Nice to meet you. You got some questions about running cattle on your property? Take a seat.
Firstly, I was wondering what cattle breeds we would be looking at for my property.
Yeah, so you want something with good adaptability and efficient feed conversion that's still giving you a premium quality beef product. So I'd recommend looking at something like Murray Greys or Angus, but primarily I'd be looking at Herefords. They're very popular in the Armidale region for their fast growth rates and their premium quality beef. Make good use of the high feed on offer on your property.
And what would be a realistic target weight for these animals?
Yeah, so I think a live weight target of 400 to 500 kilos for your heifers and probably about 500 to 600 kilos for your steers would be a good place to start. We get them out to the abattoirs at probably 18 or 24 months of age.
Alright, that sounds good. In that case, what stocking rates would you recommend for my property?
Yeah, well, for your 1,000 hectare property, that gives us a quarterly rotational grazing size of about 250 hectares. So running off that, and with your level of rainfall, we should be able to target about 20 DSE equivalent per hectare on your stocking rate. So then if you consider that a yielding Hereford's about 8 DSE, that gets us to about 625 head for the total property, and that works out to be about 2.5 head per hectare.
Do you have any information about what the feed requirements might be?
Well, if we consider that all of your non-lactating animals are going to have about a 2% of their body mass in daily forage intake, that works out to be about 8 to 12 kilograms per day per animal. So this would total about 6 or 7 tonnes per day for your herd size. Also considering the fact that your lactating animals are going to be a bit higher, probably about 2.5 to 3% intake range. So through the spring, this additional feed on offer will support that pretty happily. We'll target a spring calving period around the August to October mark. This will make use of the summer dominant rainfall and additional pasture growth, and make sure there's enough food on offer for your lactating cows and your calves. I can also see here that your agronomist has made some pasture recommendations. I think the white clovers and maybe mix in some subclover would be a really good place to start. You also want to mix in some summer and winter active grasses, so your cocksfoot, your ryegrass and kikuyu would be a good mixture to guarantee that year-round growth. In such a high productivity region, especially with the Herefords, you want to be aware of the bloating risk, given the high protein content of the legumes. Making sure you're maintaining a low percentage of legumes to grasses will help mitigate that risk. Perennial ryegrass would be a good one to consider, given its acid tolerance and high grazing tolerance. Another one that I know some farmers are using would be Ceradella, which also has that acid tolerance and doesn't have such bloat risk.
Alright, that all sounds good. Thanks for your help.
Resistant radish had to cut me off. Wish it never happened and that somehow I could keep on spraying. I can't even spray them now.
Unlucky last is my good friend Luke, the researcher, who's going to have any last advice I may need.
Yo Tyler, what's up? It's Luke here, your dodgy researcher. The reason I'm here today is to get your problem sorted. You good old legend?
Hey, I've been looking up my pastures. What else could I chuck in to prevent bloating?
Well, mate, you better off with some acid-tolerant legumes like bicerula. It fixes nitrogen, but don't carry the same bloating risk as lucerne or white clover. Run them with a solid grass like cocksfoot or even kikuyu, just to keep the feed balanced. You could also add chicory or plantain. They're highly digestible and give good summer feed. It also helped to cut the bloating risk even further.
Righto. And what about the way I'm grazing? Reckon I should be doing it different.
So you could have a crack at rotational grazing instead of fixed grazing. Just shift the stocks depending on rainfall and how quick the pasture is bouncing back. It's keep more ground cover, stop erosions, and usually get 20 to 25% more feed out of the paddocks than just leaving the stock in there.
Yeah, fair enough. My soils are a bit all over the shop though. Anything I could do to tidy them up?
For that problem, you could run some strip trial and see what sticks. Try and add on 2 to 3 ton of compost per hectare. In a test patch, it should lift the soil carbon and help retain water. Or if you got some acidic spots, a bit of lime could really kick your legumes along and give the nitrogen fixing a boost.
Cool, but how do we actually know if it's working or if I'm just wasting my time?
Yep, so just keep an eye on the ground cover, soil pH, infiltration rates, and weigh the stock every now and then. That way you'll see not just the productivity, but also the eco-services kicking in, like healthier soil and less nutrient loss. There you go.
Alright, cheers for that.
Alright, I'll see you soon, right? What a muppet.